What's up everybody, Brendan back for another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I did the ABS delete on my 2012 Mustang GT. Okay, if you're familiar with the S197 chassis, then you know that from the master cylinder you have two lines that feed an ABS module, which normally sits right about here. As you can see, I don't have that, and not only that, but I also deleted the connector out of my wiring harness. This is probably one of the biggest questions I get asked on Instagram a lot, is how did you do the ABS delete, or asking for parts to do the ABS delete. So I wanted to do a video real quick and just show everybody exactly what I had and how I did it my way. This isn't like I said in the last video, this isn't a how-to. This is just showing you how I did things. You can get ideas and take parts and everything that I use to do your own thing, or do it like me. It doesn't matter. Now, a lot of people won't have the patience to strip the wiring harness like I did, but I had a lot of time over the course of building this car, so I figured why not delete that and have one less plug to worry about when going back together. Alright, starting with the master cylinder, we have the rear brake fitting, which is a M12 by 1.5 inverted flare to 3AN, and then these are just Amazon lines like Russell Performance or All-Star Performance. I can't remember the brand exactly. So then that 3AN goes down into the fender well and meets up with the rear brake lines. And then this fitting here is a M14 by 1.5 inverted flare to 4AN. And then this line runs down and meets up with the line lock solenoid. Alright, so as you can see, the 3AN coming off the master goes right into this chase bays fitting right here. And I'll put a link in the description for this because I can't remember the exact part number for it, but it just matches up with the factory rear hard lines, and I just kind of bent these out of the bracket a little bit, and these will be covered up with the inner fender. And then the 4AN that comes off the master comes right down and it goes to my line lock solenoid. Now if you didn't have a line lock solenoid, you could just do this and go right into a T, which I have right here, and then this will feed your opposite side. But since I have a line lock, because I do drag race, I ran the 4AN and adapted it into this line lock solenoid, and this is just a line lock solenoid I had left over from my JPC kit. And then out of the other side I ran it to a T, and then these are also chase bays fittings that you can make your own hard lines with. So it's just a tube nut and sleeve for I believe it was 3AN, and then some nickel copper line. And I know this bend looks a little ugly, but I didn't know if I was going to need to cut some because of a leak or anything, so I just left a little extra. Ended up not having any leaks or anything like that, and like I said, all this is going to get covered up by the inner fenders anyway. So basically I just ran it down the frame rail here, and then it comes up and goes through the core support and comes up through here, and then I just have it zip tied there. Comes under the hood latch there, zip tied again there, comes out of the other side of the core support and runs down, then goes to this frame rail, and then just basically comes out here, and then has another tube nut and sleeve with a 3AN to 3AN adapter, and then I have these Willwood braided hoses going to the brakes. Now, like I said in the last video, I have put about 1,000 miles on the car. Haven't had any issues. I've done some hard braking, some light braking. Pedal feel is normal. Haven't had the brakes lock up on me or anything. So, I mean, I don't really know about how much it will save. Probably 10 pounds, if that, with the module and the lines. So it's not really a weight savings thing. It was really just to clean up the engine bay thing. And I also had the turn the ABS module and traction control and all that off anyways. So it wasn't being used, it was just taking up space. So that's why I decided to do it while everything was apart. And like I said earlier, a lot of people probably aren't going to want to take the time to remove the connector. It is a pretty bulky connector, so I just didn't want it hanging in the engine bay. But if you do want to remove it, however, I can give you that information if you ask for it. It's really more complicated to explain without the wiring diagram pulled up. Because there is a lot of wiring that you have to de-pin, as you can see from the fuse box, as well as communication wires that run all the way to the smart junction box. So this isn't really a small undertaking. This is actually something that you want to have a lot of time for, and you want to be able to take the harness out and split it open. That way you can remove all the wiring without having fear that you're removing the wrong ones. I'll lay a picture here of when I posted on Instagram and had the wiring harness look like a bunch of spaghetti on the floor when I was removing the wires there. But like I said, definitely not a small undertaking. If you're not well versed in wiring diagrams, I highly do not recommend that. Another thing I get questioned on a lot is what master cylinder this is. People think just because it's black it's aftermarket. All it is a factory Mustang GT master. All I did was take it completely apart, clean it, and then just painted it black, put it back together. So nothing fancy there. Alright, I think that about does it for this one. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you think there's anything else I could explain a little better, or you see something that I haven't explained on my Instagram that you want an explanation of, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to make a video on that and try and help whoever I can out. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good one.